The best, if you want to get me to do something, the best kind of feedback is, I'm trying to solve this problem, and I can't do it because of X. Where X may be the language is wrong, or maybe it means, this library doesn't have this method that it should, or maybe it means, Microsoft is, just has a horrible implementation of this thing. So that kind of feedback is always nice because it's actionable. It means I can, find someone who says, who I can say, the customer wants you to do this. Maybe you should think about it. Whereas there's another class of feedback which is, oh, this doesn't. What is the other class? The other class is like stuff that's less well-formed, or it's less tied to kind of a scenario that I can get my hands around. Sometimes I'll get cases where people will say, oh, I really need to have this construct in C#, and then if you really probe a little, it's like, well, yeah, I don't really need it, but I think it might be cool. The question is, how do you, for the C# language, how do you decide when customer feedback is enough for you to change the language? Does that make sense? Okay. So, and the real answer to that, and that's a hard one, because languages are kind of this weird case where we kind of take a holistic view of what the whole language is, and we have to be concerned about, all these global concerns. It's kind of a different concern than adding like a method to a single class. It has a smaller impact. And what that means is sometimes we will get, I'll talk with customers and they'll say, and they actually say this verbatim, they'll say, I really love C#, it makes coding really simple, all you need is this one feature. And they'll tell me what their one feature is. And then 15 minutes later, I talk with another customer, and they say the same thing, except they ask for a different feature. And I think the interesting part is that sometimes it's not apparent that, that we kind of have this global viewpoint, of the language as a whole. And it makes it hard because I don't want to just, brush off customers and say, oh, we're not going to do that. But the real answer is, well, you need several hours for me to explain to you, why that feature doesn't really fit into the kind of things we want to do, or why it makes other parts of the language complex.